also indicate that there is progress on the place of supply rules, which will form the backbone of the new infrastructure as well. Sachin Menon, the partner and head of indirect tax at KPMG, is joining us today. Sachin, now, it seems that the committee is suggesting that the GST rate will be fixed at just under 27% and that it won't be cascading. Just to get your sense of how this rate is going to go down, the implications?
I think this is a real surprise to me because what was actually estimated is that even for the purpose of any product price today, the tax content is somewhere around 26%, 26.5%. Now, even if you keep the rate a little bit lower, because the fact that GST is going to cover a wide number of dealers, you will still end up mopping up far more revenue. So the 27% is something, it's a very high rate. And I'm sure that that would definitely going to impact the consumers.
Sure. I would also like, Sachin, to get your comments on the fact that, there's no consensus as far as the inclusion of certain items. For example, petroleum products go in the common pool, despite the centre giving its assurance that adequate compensation will be given in terms of the petroleum as well as entry tax. I want your comments on that.
Well, see, if you see the revenue pattern of the Indian states, almost about 40% to 60% of the revenue is actually coming from petroleum products only. This one category is the most dominating item in the tax list, which provides a lot of revenue. And 90% of this petroleum products are under the public sector undertaking, and it's a real organized sector. So the government, the state governments actually want to play safe, because in the petroleum industry, there is no set of rules as such, as on today. So I think the reason why the states are hesitant that in case if they find a falling trend after introduction of GST, at least the petroleum product segment would remain as it is. That's what the reservation playing in their mind, and that's one of the reasons why they are trying to keep petroleum products out. Now, if the government, the central government is guaranteeing the revenue, including petroleum,
right,
on a revenue neutral basis, then there is no reason why the state should not agree. Having said that, in the constitutional amendment bill, petroleum should not be kept out, because as and when the GST settles down on a later date, states may decide to introduce even petroleum into GST. So the right way to go about is that in the Constitutional Amendment Bill, don't keep the petroleum out of GST, but when you are making the state legislation, keep it out of GST. So that as and when the state want to include that in the GST, they can do that without going back to the parliament for a constitutional amendment.
All right, fair point. Sachin, what about the timeline? It seems that we're a little closer to the April 1st, 2016 target. Most of the state finance ministers are pretty confident that this will go through. But do you expect any further speed bumps along the way?
I think now there is a broader consensus between the political parties, mainly Congress and BJP, as well as the states as far as the GST is concerned. Nobody disputing that GST is not good for the industry. Everybody appreciates that GST is going to add to doing easy business in India and adding a growth, significant growth to the GDP of India. So, and then there is a lot of work already gone behind the screen by the subcommittees and the board committee appointed subcommittees, etc. Once those small things which are, I mean, it is not small thing. There are few things which are yet to be settled, like the rate of tax. Now the threshold limit again. There is a proposal to bring down from the proposed 25 lakhs to 10 lakhs. And all these issues are sorted out, then we can really move faster. And I'm sure that we will be in a position to implement GST from 1st of April 2016.
Okay, in fact, I want to pick up on that point as far as the threshold of taxation goes, Sachin. States, of course, wanted to come to 10 lakhs. The centre has it at 25 lakhs. Are you expecting that will be a major bump? And also, as far as, the place of supply, that was something that was going back and forth. That there seems to be some clarity on that now.
Well, see, this the suggestion to tax at the threshold limit at 10 lakhs is actually, according to me, doesn't make sense. For one reason, that if you look at the revenue pattern of the all Indian states, it is a 80-20 situation. 20% of the total dealers is contributing towards 80% of the tax revenue in India, whereas this 80% contributing 20% of the tax revenue. Now, when you are bringing down that the threshold limit to 25 lakhs, then almost nearly about 60% of the small traders goes out of GST. Now, those below 25 threshold dealers is contributing very minuscule amount towards the tax kitty. And administering those small dealers, registering them, they're getting their return, audit them, assess them, that would cost more than the revenue you would earn by including this less than 25 lakhs dealers in India. So either they should exclude that, they fix the threshold limit at 25 lakhs, or they can bring between 10 to 25, they can put a summary tax of 1% on the total turnover without for them not to go through all this rigmarole of keeping accounts and filing returns, etc. So this is the alternative. Otherwise, I don't think this make any economic sense.